it will be entirely different no matter where you go. If you move house, you'll leave everybody behind, you have to make new friends. If you leave school, same thing will happen. If you want to continuing to go to that school, then just tell your social worker and ask the carers' parents if they are able to facilitate the transport or the arrangements to get you there. In terms of religion, you know, some people may think, I'm a Muslim, would I be able to live with a Muslim family? They would do their best to make sure that would happen, and it's probably more than likely it will happen if they can find the correct people. If they can't, we'll try and put you with carers or parents that are familiar with the religion and will not mind in the slightest in helping you continue your religion.
When placing a child, it's a lot of factors are taken into account. We take into account what is best for them as a young person, all the things that they have in place for them that we're actually taking them away from. We try to ensure that their needs are met in the placement that they're actually in, and that is a whole host of factors, from the race, their age, whether there are other children in the placement, whether they will get on with them.
You've got the rights to look at your records, basically all the information that the social workers, the leaving care workers, the family placement workers, all those important people, you'll have access to all that information. And if it just happens to be, you have a different religion to the family that you're going to be staying with, or in the home you're going to be staying with, then, ask them, if they don't offer, simply ask them, are they able to help you continue your religion and help you eat the food that your religion allows you to eat. Many children, young adults, are worried about what would happen if they were unhappy. Nothing would happen badly. All you'd have to do was just speak to your social worker or family placement worker or leaving care worker and just say, look, I'm really unhappy at the moment, I need somebody to talk to, can I talk to you? I've got a load of stuff on my chest and I want to get it off.
Hi, my name's Sophie, and if I could have written a letter to myself at the moment I went in care, I would have probably said this. Dear Sophie, don't worry. You will see your mum again, just don't have any expectations. Think of this place as a holiday retreat. Dot and Harold will look after you. These 2 years will be forever ingrained in your memory and a part of who you are. Living on this farm will give you a chance to let your imagination run wild, give you stories to tell and animals to love. Nurturing these animals will be very cathartic for you. Stay away from bad influences while you're there. Don't worry that you're not Dot and Harold's real family, they still love you. Talk about your nightmares and have fun, little Sophie, and don't feel alone.
And if it just happens to be that you're unhappy about where you're living, the living circumstances, the food you're eating, and the parents, carers are not giving you the right respect, whether your ethnicity, religion, sexuality or anything like that, then tell them and they will do something about it. And if they don't, again, you've got the right to phone children's rights or social workers, leaving care workers, manager.
We recognise that as social workers we're working for the local authority and we have an agenda that's sometimes not the same as a young person, and sometimes they need an independent point of view. The same as, they wouldn't necessarily go to the parents sometimes for an answer, they might talk to the peer group, the friendships or somebody in school. So the links with school, with friends, with independent advocates like children's rights are an important process that we ensure that they have that, as well as being able to speak to the social worker.
Don't be frightened of being unhappy. Being unhappy is a part of life. Everybody has that feeling. Some people, when going into care, it can be the best thing that's ever happened to them. Others, when they've been into care and looked back on the past, they've probably thought, maybe it wasn't the best thing. But at the end of the day, it was done, and it possibly has helped them in many more ways than one. Will I have my own bedroom? The situation depends on everything, really. Whether you get your own room is entirely potluck.
Yes, the children and young people do have their own rooms now we've moved. Because when we started fostering, that wasn't the requirement, so the two boys shared. But 3 years ago we moved and they've now got a bedroom each.
You're entitled to your own room, by all means. You know, privacy and all the rest of it, especially when you're a young adult, 16 plus. But if they say no, speak to your social worker, and your social worker will have a word with your parent or carer and say, look, he, she is at the age of 16 plus, they are more than entitled to have their own room. You can't expect them to share a room with an annoying 8-year-old child, because that's what the child would seem to the person who's moving into care. See this line? That's your half, this is my half. You've been warned.
Ooh.
Get up my side of the room now!
Alright, keep your head on.
What are the rules of the house? This depends with anywhere you go. Any place, any home, any foster family, any family placement workers or anything like that, they will tell you the rules of what they think is right. You go into a foster family, you'll get one set of rules. You go to a different one, you'll get a different set. It all varies with the families that are involved. It's not every rule is the same. Most of the rules will be, but not all. Some may be strict, some may not be strict. As I said, it all depends.
They have to respect each other and respect each other's privacy. And also, they have to abide the house rules as well, which are basically, respect each other and respect our own family and anyone else that they come into contact with.
But there's not sort of stringent house rules, it's more or less things that you do in any household, so that you keep, able to hear each other, no shouting, no screaming. If they're asked to turn the music or the TVs down, they turn it down, that type of thing.
How long will I be in care for? That again depends on the current situation that you're in. It's entirely and utterly unpredictable, to be honest with you. It's not something you can put a time schedule or limit on.
There's no fixed time limit in terms of, we say that a young person is in care, and once they go into care it's an indefinite thing. We recognise that life changes and that circumstances change for young people. So whereas some young people, children and young people might go into care overnight or may go into care because a parent is ill in hospital and can't look after them, there are periods that are longer than that when it's not safe for children or young people to return home. And what we try to do in those circumstances is to ensure that children and young people are supported to reach independence and reach their independent skills.
Many people, young people, small children, are worried about who is going to be told about them being put into care. It's not a bad thing, it's a confidential and private thing, but you, personally, can tell anybody you want to. If you want to tell people, you can do, by all means, but don't tell the wrong type of people because you'll get bullied for it.